Okay. Could you state your name and tell us why you came out today?
Sergeant Major Brother Stokes of the Black Man's Army. We're out here today because we don't like that verdict that came down today. This injustice in the city of Cleveland has got to stop. The police department has to be held accountable for their actions. We are not violent. We don't particularly saying let's get out here and just tear the city up, let's burn the city up. We're not for that. We want peace. We want justice. We want calm in this city. We love the city of Cleveland. We don't want the violence in the city of Cleveland. The Black Man Army is not standing for violence. We're standing for peace. We're standing for justice. We are not happy with the verdict, but this fight is not over with yet. We will be calm, but we will not be destructive. In the movement, I've been in the movement for about 7 to 8 years now. And I organized with my father brothers, Art McCoy, for Black on Black Crime. That's when we formed the Black Man's Army. We're stepping up to protect our own women and children. When we have this type of injustice, we will be out here. When we leave here, we'll be going back into the inner city where we're supposed to be at. That's where we're going, back into the inner city, taking care of the problems that's existing there right now.
I'm from Cleveland. Came here today to put some pressure on the prosecutor and just let them know that what happened was wrong and we just want to see justice, that's all, pretty much. So what we did was we had a ceremony for him here and then we walked slowly up to his house and we had a memorial service in front of his house.
So, what's the actual? What would you like to see the thing? What would you like to see the prosecutor do?
I would like to see him press charges on those officers that murdered Tamir Rice. It's not even a killing; that's a murder that took place. So I'd like to see justice served because it's not going on here in Cleveland right now. They feel like you can get away with things like that, and it's not all right. It's not cool at all. So we're all here standing in solidarity together with each other, just trying to get justice for Tamir Rice. Because above all, he was just a 12-year-old. He was just a 12-year-old. He was a kid. So we all just want to see the right thing come of this case. That's all.
Okay. I go by the name of D.L. Warray, and I'm a poet and a griot. And the reason why I'm here is to use my poetry for protest. So in terms of nonviolent actions and just trying to really galvanize the people using our words and speeches, being a little bit more creative as opposed to either just marching or sitting in or even getting a little more violent. I feel like the poetry, the drumming, the arts could really kind of bring people together in a positive, unifying way. And if we use our poetry, use our art as a form of propaganda, you know, we'll keep the issue at the forefront of everyone's hearts and minds, at the same time empowering the artists and really using our art for what it exactly is in terms of the tradition of poetry, the tradition of being a griot. You don't want to take poetry outside of the slams and the superficial bars and, you know, things like that and just bring it into the space and hopefully it could be inspiring to others. All right, this poem is called The Gestapo and the East Cleveland Rundown. Black cops, white cops, them boys wear blue, yet their blue be the color of an occupying army. With their dispatch, regalia, and guns, army. Patch badge, bullets, pistols on patrol, army. Sirens, handcuffed nightsticks, army. Tasers, chokehold, backseat cages, army. Shotgun, flak vests, brute force violence. The army police harass and arrest with knee on your throat, slug to the back, slug to the chest, army. Drones, curfew, and gas mask, army. Checkpoints, K9, and tear gas, army. Gestapo on the rundown with intimidation and fear. It is our duty to fight for our freedom that justifies their riot gear. Black cops, white cops, them boys wear blue, yet their blue be the color of an occupying army. So that poem is a syllabiotic verse. So in the spirit of Gwendolyn Brooks, in the spirit of technique and form and rhythm, the Gestapo and the East Cleveland Rundown. And with that poem, I want to just talk about, the whole idea of the Gestapo is the state police. And we just got the not guilty verdict for Brillo, and understanding that situation, it was like 6-7 different departments that were involved. You had East Cleveland, you had Cleveland, you had, University Police, Cleveland Clinic. There's so many police in the Cleveland area proper. Cleveland State, Case Western, John Carroll. There's so many police forces in Cleveland that I recognize us as being people who are really inspired and want to bring change. We are the enemies of the state. So that's what I was saying with that point. And if the state allows these injustices to go on, it's us versus them. So I feel like we need to speak to the humanity of the situation.
Yeah.
I have 2 boys.
Yes.
It is important that I do not allow this injustice to go on.
Yes.
I used to play with guns. I'm a combat veteran. So it's just like, it's so important that I be here and understanding that I went to war and it was an unjust war. They just said that. I don't know if anybody read that.
Thank you for serving.
Yeah, but it was unjust. So there's people over there that died for no apparent reason. So, if I could do that, I could really, stand on my flag, stand on my foundation, and, bring about change and inspiration to the people.
My name is Philip. I'm a resident of Cleveland, and we had a funeral procession marking the 6-month anniversary of Tamir Rice's murder. Sure. Well, we wanted it to be very reverent and just as much like the real funeral as possible. So we met here in Impact Park in the West Park neighborhood. This neighborhood is kind of notorious for where a lot of public workers live, so police officers, fire department, but specifically the prosecutor in the city who has the power to indict police officers. So we are asking the community to indict Frank Garmbach, the driver, and Timothy Lohman, the shooter in Tamir Rice's death 6 months ago. So we took a nice funeral procession around the neighborhood, stopping at the prosecutor's house with a casket, doing a prayer, doing a eulogy, and once again just showing how much the community is mourning for a 12-year-old who was murdered for no good reason besides racism, and the fact that our police are afraid of half of our city. Half of our city is black, and because of that, a 12-year-old is no longer here with us.
My name is Rooney Hassan. I'm with the International Socialist Organization, as well as Effective Steps, a Black Lives Matter coalition in Columbus, as well as CBUS of Ferguson, which is the local Black Lives Matter chapter in Columbus. And we came down here today, or actually last night, kind of unexpectedly, definitely here in solidarity with what's happening in Cleveland, and just to build a bridge of solidarity with Ohio activists, and of course to end police brutality here in Ohio and worldwide. Unexpectedly simple, I would say that. It was very well organized, and we have to congratulate and give thanks to all the organizers and leaders who are here today. A lot of organizations here in Columbus, as well as people from around the state who helped. It was really unexpected. We had a counter protest and we were expecting more aggressiveness from them as well as the police. There was definitely harassment from all sides, at all places, at all times, but that was expected for sure. But it went really well. It went really, really well, and I'm happy to be here for sure. Definitely not a mistake. I can't even, the gas money, everything was well worth it, and I'm happy to be here, especially with what happened with the verdict. It was good to see a moment of solidarity with everybody, and a moment of peace, and a message of why we're here.
And then what happened today, if you had to describe it as someone who wasn't here?
Today was a sending away of sorts, a funeral for 12-year-old Tamir Rice. It was our way of saying goodbye finally after 6 months. Yesterday was his 6th-month anniversary of his death, and it was a powerful, moving experience. It was amazing. The march went all around Impact Park, and we finally landed at the door of Prosecutor McGinty. All his neighbors came out. Some of them were supportive. Some of them said to me that they were thankful the protest or the action was peaceful, which I was a little offended by, because really, you're not. What do you expect me to say when you come to me and you tell me you're happy that the protest was peaceful? The reason why we're here is because there has been no peace. So what do you want me to say to you? Thank goodness your house is still standing, sir. Tamir Rice is dead. How about you say condolences? Why don't you? Like there's such a disconnect between the people that don't get why we're here and the people that do, and that's why America's a mess today. And it's not even ironic. I guess it's fitting that Bravello, what's his name? The guy, Bravillo, whatever that stupid cop's name is. Brello.
Oh yeah, Brello, who just got off.
Brello he was found not guilty on all charges. So no justice for Timothy Russell, no justice for Melissa Williams, and here we are again, just dealing with the same things. And then you come to me and you say, hey, thanks for being peaceful. You're lucky I'm being peaceful, because we are so sad and angry and upset that our lives are constantly being told they don't matter. And we got to remind you. And you still don't get it. You still don't, even when we're peaceful, you still don't get it. I feel like it's even more ignorance. And the justice system, the injustice system in this country is not helping with our cause. They just constantly showing us that cops can get away with just killing us, massacring us, just putting us in jail, breaking necks, choking us, shooting us. Like, the lynching continues, and it's oh man, it's hard, because like you get to a point where you're like, where's the hope? You know, where's the hope? What's the point? So no, I don't think there's any hope. If anything, things have gotten worse. We're looking to Baltimore now with Marilyn
Mosby.
Mosby to Mosley. What's her name?
I think it's Mosby.
Mosby. So we're looking to Baltimore with Marilyn Mosby, you know, saying that she's going to do what she has to do. She's going to find justice for us. We can only hope. Because even when they get into court, they get scot-free. So I don't know what to tell you.
I'm Alice Ragland. I live in Cleveland. I'm a member of OSA. And I came out because I helped organize this event. But personally, I wanted to be at this event because it has been 6 months since Tamir Rice was killed and nothing has happened. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody was even brought in for questioning. The officers were not charged. Nothing has happened. So I just think that that's unacceptable. And I think that we need to instill a sense of urgency in the city of Cleveland, because that should not happen. And I don't ever want a situation like that to happen again. So we began at Embitt Park, which is on the west side. It's in the prosecutor Tim McGinty's neighborhood. And we started off with a solemn song. I played the flute. I kind of played the drums. And then we entered into the funeral ceremony. So we had a little reading of an obituary by Tamir Rice's cousin. We had a reverend do a little bit of preaching about justice, and we had a few people do poetic pieces. So after that, we went to the prosecutor's house. We had some pallbearers carrying a mock casket with Tamir Rice's picture on it, with flowers on it. So we marched in a line 2 by 2, in a very, very long line, because there were about 200 people in this line. So we marched peacefully and for the most part quietly, with a couple of songs in between, to the prosecutor's house, and we did a statement there. The Reverend McCory spoke. I spoke about why we're here. We had a few people doing poems. And then after that, we marched back to the park where we started, got in a large circle, held hands, and told everybody the plans, and did some closing thoughts, closing reflections, thanked everybody for coming, brought the children in the middle of the circle. So it was just a very peaceful, solemn event. and we had a really positive energy surrounding us, even though, you know, we're not facing a lot of positive circumstances right now.
Right. Or what is the group demanding of the prosecutor?
So we are focusing on the prosecutor because we know that he has the power to do something about this situation. In the city of Cleveland, they try to confuse us about what is possible and what's not possible, but the prosecutor, whether he has to talk to people, whether he has to literally call in a grand jury, he can do something about this. So we want him to take action, and we want charges filed against both officers that were involved with the killing of Tamir Rice.
My name is Ademo Freeman. I am the founder of copblock.org, a police accountability website, and I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio, initially to support the Greater Cleveland Cop Block founder who was wrongfully arrested for protesting a DUI checkpoint. But I'm here today with many others who are upset or not very happy with the Berlo verdict, which is an officer who shot a man and woman from the hood of their car multiple times. In the whole incident, he shot 49 times, and police in general shot 137 times and that verdict came out today saying that that officer was not guilty of any wrongdoing, and so or any criminal charges that were against him, and so some people don't feel that that's necessarily justice, and I would agree, and so we're out here at the Justice Center to show our displeasure for, you know, the justice system, which isn't providing justice. Copblock.org is a police accountability website I founded in 2010. The idea Cop Block is that badges don't grant extra rights, and that's decentralized. Folks are free to start their own websites. They've started like Ohio Cop Block, Nevada Cop Block, Massachusetts Cop Block, and as well as other Facebook pages and social networks, and they do what they need to do in their areas, and then there's some of us who all work together to try to advance the message that badges don't grant extra rights. So essentially, copblock.org is a hub where people can, you know, get resources, flyers, learn information and tactics about holding the police accountable, as well as share their thoughts and or tactics. I mean, I personally haven't, but there's a diversity of groups who have touched on, you know, a number of aspects of policing, and so that extends into, you know, airports and, you know, customs and, you know, immigration and other things, and so sadly the police state is very large and expansive, and so there's a number of areas that touch on it. Basically that's where the march that started here ended, and that was chosen obviously because Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old boy, was shot and killed by the Cleveland police more recently than the Berlo case, and folks are obviously upset with that, and that investigation's conclusion hasn't been released, even though it's been nearly 4 months since it's been completed. And so people chose that because that's where Tamir Rice died, and as a rally point to end the march. There was, you know, maybe 100 people there, and some folks gave some folks shared their thoughts on the police, and other folks were handing out information and gathering one another and discussing ideas, and so it was really peaceful there. It was a good tribute to Tamir, I believe. Well, chalk is a very effective way I found through my years of activism to relay a message, and as I've written here, how many will they kill before you care? Because even if you don't care about the Michael Berlo case or Tamir Rice, how many are they going to kill before you do care? And I think that's a very good message, and so I could try to stop and talk to everybody on the side of the street and say that, but you know, some people are busy. I just think this is really effective. It's your First Amendment right to express yourself, especially with political discourse, and see people right now are walking by reading it, so it works.